This is Matt and Janine here, and it's the end of August already, and the kids are getting ready to go back to school right after Labor Day. So let's have some fun on this video, shall we?
So we want to know what your favorite back to school movie is. Kathleen and I reviewed the Ron Clark story with Matthew Perry in our podcast episode that we filmed yesterday. But besides the Ron Clark story, my favorite back to school movies are The Dead Poet Society with Robin Williams, Bring It On, and The Blind Side. How about you?
Some of my favorite after school movies. I do like Ron Clark, and I do like other films that do involve students and their problems in school.
Um, So we are wrapping up uh, the rest of the entertainment that we viewed in August. If you missed our last video, we reviewed Freakier Friday, the Freaky Friday musical that we saw at Prescott Park Art Festival, and Tootsie, which we saw at Interlake Summer Theater on July 20th. We're going to start today's video by talking about Annie, which we went to New Hampshire to see on Sunday, August 17th. This was put on by the Amato Center, the Friends of the Amato Center, which merged with the Amherst PTA last spring, and they do two shows a year. In the spring, they did Seussical, and for their summer production, they did Annie. And Annie has been one of my favorite musicals. This is the first time the Amato Center has ever done the adult version of Annie. When I was starting out as a backstage person with the Riverbend Youth Company, I worked backstage for Annie Jr. when Meg Peterson directed it and Patrick O'Mara was Daddy Warbucks. What's your favorite songs from Annie?
I really like Tomorrow. I know I'm gonna like it here, and plus I also like Easy Street.
Me too. Tomorrow is also my favorite song from Annie.
Mm-hmm.
And quickly, I want to show the bracelet that Sonia made me for my birthday. We just got back from the party with our friends at Prescott Park, and she made me this beautiful bracelet that says tomorrow on it.
Mm,
Hopefully, you can see that. I don't know if you can. If not, I'll take it off so I can hold it up to the camera.
nice.
Um, so who were your favorite characters in Annie?
Annie herself. I also like Daddy Warbucks. And in this production, every time we think of villainous characters, we think of Miss Hannigan, who was in charge of the orphanage there. And this year, the production hired our friend Ashley to perform as Mrs. Hannigan. The very first time they did Friends of the Mouse Center 10 years ago, it's been that long since she performed as Mary Poppins.
Right. Yes. So outstanding performances in this production of Annie were by Ashley Bosak as Miss Hannigan, um, Bruce Williams as Daddy Warbucks, Jennifer Erdody as Grace Farrell, her son Ben Erdody as Rooster Hannigan, Sophie Linkram as Lily St. Regis, Patrick McCarty as Drake Warbucks as Butler, um, Josh Conklin as Franklin Roosevelt, Bob Petrowski as Mr. Bundles, and Bert Healy. Um, um,
As usual, we had our friends from New Hampshire, some of them at least, who were in certain roles.
Lucy Swanson as Molly the orphan, Marley Whitehead as July the orphan, and Aurora McCarty as Kate the orphan. And as Matt was just starting to say, our friends Amanda and Sonia and Laura were in the ensemble. Uh, Hang on. Oh wait, Laura was not in this. She was in Shrek. Sorry, I got that wrong. So in the Hooverville, we had Jennifer Fischera as Sophie, Jonathan McCarty as Eddie, Teresa Moeller as man number 1, Ally McKnight as man number 4, Sonia Spongberg as woman number 1, Sonia Walcott as woman number 2 and woman number 4. And then in the other ensemble members were Rachel April, Harper Barron, Charlotte Bennett, Richard Bennett, Colin Sharma, Justin Kahn, Juniper Kahn, Josh Conklin, Eleanor Cohn, Natalie Luzo, Ally McKnight, Emily Moran, Samantha Moran, Sean O'Malley, Eric Petit, Brianna St. Hilaire, and Nora St. Hilaire. And then our friend Amanda was the apple seller in the Hooverville scene. Um, and our friends Abby and Cassie were the NYC Tappers. Megan McKnight was an NYC Rockette in the house staff. We had Cassie Fischera. We had Megan McKnight, Beth Pierce in Act 2, and she was the NYC song Star to Be soloist in Act 1, and Krista Burrell in Act 1. Um, and yeah, the next theater performance that we went to see was West Side Story. We went to see this at Main City Music Theater on August 23rd with our friend Cooper. What are your favorite West Side Story songs?
Well, some of the West Side Story songs that caught my eye. Let's see if I can find them in here. Okay, let's included America, Dance of the Gym, the Jet Song. Plus, I feel pretty.
My favorite songs from West Side Story are I Feel Pretty, Somewhere, the Jet Song, and Tonight. And the notable performances in this production were by Tony, who was played Tony was played by Coleman Cummings. Maria was played by Lauren Maria Mendina. Minnie Somewhere soloist Greta Cardoza. Anybody's Morgan Gillot. Uh, Riff Bobby Ellis. Anita Maria Cristina Posada Sly, and Consuela Erin Gonzalez. And this has always been one of my favorite musicals. The last two times we have seen West Side Story were at the Amato Center in 2017 when Riverbend Youth Company did it, and at Interlake Summer Theater in 2021. What is next up? Let's see here.
Now, this was the season finale of the Main State Music Theater, so it was a nice night. G and I took our friend who lives here in Portland named Cooper out before I treated both to a nice dinner in downtown Brunswick, Maine.
The next movie we wanted to talk about today is Funny Face. So, I I saw this movie on a list of movies that are paired up with the books in the When in Rome series by Sarah Adams. This book was paired up with Practice Makes Perfect, which Matt is reading. Where are you now on Practice Makes Perfect?
I think I got up to page 258.
Do you like it so far?
I do.
Yeah, I think that the couple in that book is my favorite couple in the whole series, up to the point that we're at. The last book in the When in Rome series is coming out January 6th, 2026, and I'm excited. What did you like the best about this movie? I think last night when we were talking about it, you said you liked the choreography.
Yes, I did actually, because with the character that Audrey Hepburn played, she and Fred Astaire, this was their memorable performance together. And I don't recall ever Audrey Hepburn having dance scenes.
Right, because in Breakfast at Tiffany's, that has no dancing in it.
Right.
That's not a musical. We gave this movie 8 out of 10 stars, and we also agree that we like the scenes that were set in Paris.
And like Breakfast at Tiffany's, this movie with Audrey Hepburn was created by the folks at Paramount Pictures.
The next episode, the next TV show episode we're reviewing is Lizzie McGuire, I've Got Rhythmic. This is the season 1 episode where Lizzie is trying to find something she's good at. So one day in gym class, they are doing rhythmic gymnastics, which is like when you twirl all the all
The ribbon.
all the ribbon and throw all the clubs in the air and stuff. So I can relate to Kate in this episode because Kate was very clumsy with tossing all the clubs in the air, and I would not be good at that either because of my hand-eye coordination issues. But Liz,
But when Lizzie got to find her talent because of that rhythm, then she automatically was doing tryouts and then practice for her gym routine, which made Kate very jealous.
right?
Then at the end of the show, Kate's friend obviously tried to trick her into trying to get the foolery to think that Kate had the upper edge, but that's just being absurd and bossy.
So the gym teacher in this episode was played by Dot Marie Jones, who plays Coach Beast on Glee, and I originally watched Lizzie McGuire when the series was first on in the early 2000s, but now that I have seen Dot Marie Jones in Lizzie McGuire and in Glee, I think I like her in Lizzie McGuire a little bit better than Coach Beast in Glee, because like in I mean, she's pretty good as Coach Beast, and she has some pretty emotional moments, especially in the episode where she's being abused by the football coach. But she just seems to be a more down to earth character in Lizzie McGuire, and maybe that's because, well, Glee is a show for teenagers too, because that show is also set in high school. But yeah, the next TV episode we're going to talk about is Malcolm and Eddie. So we decided to watch Malcolm and Eddie because Malcolm Jamal Warner, who was well known for his role on Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, passed away on July 21st when he drowned when he was on vacation with his family, and we decided to watch Malcolm and Eddie in order to honor his talent. What did you think of the show?
Pretty good dynamic. Eddie's the one who was more kind of a hippie and a little bit more naive than Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the setting for the show was Kansas City, Missouri, right where the first scene of the pilot episode was at a radio station. Malcolm is trying to get a recording for the Chicago Bulls,
Mm-hmm.
but the TV goes bust. So, what do? They try to sneak out and try to win some kind of contest and an outing to try to win a new television back, especially since they can't do it at the pub.
The next part of this video. Oh, for a production note for our TV show reviews, we are going to take September and October off from watching episodes of Cheers because we're going to be watching Wednesday, which we got for Christmas last year because we haven't seen it yet. And the second season was recently released on Netflix, so we need to play catch up by watching the season 1. And hopefully we can figure out the issues we're having with our Netflix so we can watch season 2, which was released on August 11th. So right now I'm gonna get into my birthday gift haul and give some progress for um, some books I'm reading. the first thing that I wanted to share are these cup holders that Kathleen made me. Kathleen is my neighbor who I do the Gilmore Girls and Friends podcast with. So this first cup holder uh, has the Friends logo on it, and then this other cup holder has um, the slogan from the Life and Death Brigade from Gilmore Girls on it. She also made me a can holder that you can put soda cans in, that's in the car, and a bookmark that I'm using in one of the other books that I'm reading. The next thing I want to show is this Gilmore Girls cookbook that I got from my mother-in-law. We are going to be making a recipe from this cookbook on Wednesday night, and it is going to be
Acorn squash soup.
roasted acorn squash soup. And I don't remember what episode it's from, because unlike the Friends cookbook, this cookbook does not specify what episodes the recipes are made in, but instead it is split up by like the different locations. Like the first chapter is Luke's Diner, the second chapter is the Independence Inn, the third section is Independence Inn, the fourth section is Emily and Richard's dinners, and then the last section is Rory and Lorelai's snacks when they watch movies. The next book that I'm reading, I also got from my mother-in-law. This is Friedrich Bachmann's new release from April. It's called My Friends. For those of you not familiar with Friedrich Bachmann, he also wrote Anxious People, A Man Called Ove, and the Bear Town trilogy. He is a fantastic writer. He is Swedish, I believe. So he's one of my favorite translated authors. I am currently on page 187. The next book that I got for my birthday, I got with a gift certificate I got in the mail to Longfellow Books, and it is Ashley Poston's new release from May. Sounds Like Love. This is a love story that is set around a musician and somebody that she works with in her office, Joni, and uh, I can't find the name of the guy character. Oh, and also my sister gave me an embosser stamp for my birthday, so this is what the emblem looks like for the embosser stamp. The next book is a book I got from Matt. This is a book that I saw online because Oprah was talking about it because she interviewed the author for her podcast. It's called The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt, and it is a book about today's teenagers and how they are all anxious and addicted to their phones. So when I finish reading this, I will give it to my sister because she said she wanted to read it next.
Kids these days.
So now I'm going to move into my reading progress updates for the Friends and Gilmore. Actually, I have one more birthday gift to share. This is something my friend Amanda gave me. She painted me this abstract art picture, and it's very, very beautiful. I would like to thank my friends from New Hampshire who celebrated my birthday with me today and gave me all these wonderful gifts, and my family, and also Kathleen, who made me these beautiful cup holders, and thank you, everybody. So now I'm going to do my reading progress for the books I'm reading for Friends and Gilmore Girls TBR that I'm reading by myself and not for the podcast with Kathleen. The first book that I read is Are You Hungry, Dear? This is the memoir of Doris Roberts from another favorite 90s TV show of mine, Everybody Loves Raymond. Doris Roberts played Ray Barone's mother, Marie, and she's also from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. She plays the mother in that movie. So this is the memoir of her experiences with raising her family and being on Everybody Loves Raymond. And this book comes with recipes, and we are actually making the fettuccine recipe in this book tomorrow night for dinner, so I can't wait to try that out. The next book is the second book I bought with the gift card that I got in the mail from Longfellow Books. Um, Brooke Shields is Not Afraid to Get Old. I listened to this book on audio when it first came out this winter, and I really enjoyed it. For those of you,
It's actually called Not Allowed to Get Old.
Brooke Shields is not allowed to get old. So for those of you who are wondering how Brooke Shields is connected to Friends, she was on the first part of the Super Bowl episode where she plays Joey's obsessed fan, Erica, who's obsessed with his character, Dr. Drake Ramore on Days of Our Lives. And there's this really funny scene where they're at Chandler and Joey's apartment, and um, basically the other characters are trying to get Brooke Shields' character to see that Joey is not really Dr. Drake Ramore. And then they go, first Ross says, "Oh, he's not Dr. Drake Ramore. He's really his brother Hans." And then Rachel says, "You slept with me, never called me back," and throws water in his face. And Monica says something similar. And then Chandler says, "You left the toilet seat up, you bastard." And that has nothing to do with anything else. And Chandler's line in that scene is really funny because it was unscripted. And actually, Brooke Shields shares in the chapter about filming the Super Bowl episode that Matthew Perry uh, ran across the room, dived to the floor, and looked up her pants leg while they were doing behind the scenes blooper reels for the episode. I have never seen that blooper reel anywhere online, but maybe they decided not to show it. So in my reread of this book, I am on chapter 4, page 62. The next book is called Elizabeth from East Hampton. I got this book for my birthday from my mother-in-law Sally, along with my friends and the Gilmore Girls cookbook. This is a modern retelling of Jane Austen's classic novel Pride and Prejudice that is set on Montauk Beach in the Hamptons and upstate New York, where the last episode of season 3 of Friends is set. And I really love this retelling of Pride and Prejudice. I actually talked about this in the podcast episode that I filmed with Kathleen yesterday. So if you want my thoughts on this book, the link to the podcast episode will be in the description box below. The next book that I read for the Friends and Gilmore Girls TBR was The Party Crashers by Sophie Kinsella. This is my third book by this author. I have also read The Undomestic Goddess, which was recommended to me by Books and Lala, and Can You Keep a Secret? The reason why I selected this book for the Gilmore Girls and Friends TBR was because the party that is in this book is very reminiscent of the party that Emily and Richard throw for Rory in the season 1 episode about Rory's birthday parties. The next book I got for my birthday is...
That's another one from me,
This
Jane.
is another one from Matt. He got me Lauren Graham's memoir, Talking as Fast as I Can. I have her second memoir also. Have I told you this already? So this is the memoir where she talks about her experiences on Gilmore Girls and Parenthood and Gilmore Girls A Year in the Life. And I borrowed this from Kathleen a couple of months ago and read it for the first time and really enjoyed it, especially the aspects where she talks about backstage of Gilmore Girls and all the costumes. And now I want to go to the store and see if I can find similar outfits to the ones that she wore when she was Lorelai. And finally, the last book I wanted to talk about is Where Am I Now? So this is another book I heard about through Books and Lala. She recently did a video where she um got a book recommendation from Mara Wilson, and this book was also in that video. I think This is Mara Mills Wilson's memoir about how her experiences in Mrs. Doubtfire and Matilda, and what she did after that. And I really liked learning about her career and where she went after she did those two favorite movies. And the reason why I selected this book for the TBR for Friends and Gilmore Girls is because Matilda was released in 1996 during season 3 of Friends, and um, Matilda has similar powers to Carrie from the Stephen King book Carrie and Courtney Cox's character in Misfits of Science, which was a show she was on before Friends. So this book got 5 stars, and so did The Party Crashers. Lauren Graham's memoir got 4.5 stars. So did Brooke Shields' memoir. And based on where I am and my friends, I think I'm probably going to give it 4 stars, but I'm not too sure yet. One more thing to talk about today on my end is my creative progress for writing. Um, so I have been working on my fan fiction since February, called The Five Musketeers, which is a coming of age story for my self-insert character for Uncle Chandler, I Love You, where it's about her relationship with her cousin Savannah, who is my original character, who is Richard Burke's granddaughter. Trinity, who is my original character, who is based off of Paris Geller from Gilmore Girls. Ariana, who is based off of Lane Kim from Gilmore Girls, and Gianna, who is based off of Rory Gilmore. And basically, for this fan fiction, I had to change all the Friends and Gilmore Girls characters' names so I don't get sued. And it's basically my character going through the events of season 2 and 3 episodes of Gilmore Girls, in the last 2 seasons of Friends that lead up to the finale. Um, so I am self-publishing this fan fiction with the help of my art teacher Amelia, and I am accepting pre-orders now for it through the Double House Arts Instagram. I will be charging $15, and it will be on sale at the Double House Art Show in December. And after I finish this project, I will be moving on to working on my script for my one-act play for next summer's Port Fringe Festival, where I talk about my disability. So thank you for tuning in.
And also, I want to give an update that Gina and I are going to start Double House soon in 3 weeks. So.
What are you looking forward to for this semester for your artwork to make?
Because of America 250th birthday, I might want to create America as I perceive it. Plus, we have these events that are going on that might be worth it. But yes, Janine has quite a bit of gifts that we're going to send some thank you cards to our friends and family. So, hope you all have a great September. And
our next entertainment wrap-up video will be out on October 5th. So stay tuned.
See you later.